Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel. My name is Enrique. Thank you so much for watching. And to all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. There's nothing better than being a dad. So, one piece of housekeeping, taking the family to Costa Rica for a week and a few hours. So I am not going to be producing any content whatsoever for about a week. I'll be seeing you guys next Sunday evening for the weekly recap of next week. So as we look at the markets today, there's a lot to cover. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I still haven't named the show. Someone came up with some really cool names last week in the comments, and I just honestly haven't had time to think about it. So I think I'm going to go with one of the names that came up in the comments last week. But as we look at the markets today, BTC is pumping pretty hard, and so are the alts. But look, guys, bottom line, regardless of the green that we're seeing today, there's still a lot of bearish stuff out there. BTC, during the last bear market or bear run, whatever you want to call it, it retraced about 84%, which if it happened again this time, would be a BTC of about 12K. And then ETH retraced about 95%, which would bring it down to around 400 to 420. Those of you that follow me on Twitter, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, EAM Crypto, I called for a 420 ETH at one point, and I still think we're going to see it at some point. I really do think that a 418, a 420, well, probably 420 because 420. But I do think that that's where we're going to be headed eventually. And look, guys, I know that this is not a Moon Boy channel. I just try to kind of lay out the facts. A lot of people don't like channels that are not Moon Boy channels, but it is what it is. And I think we've done a pretty good job of protecting our profits in these tough market conditions. I've had a profitable month every single month this year. I'm not making as much money now as I was making in March or February or even April, but guys, some of these DeFi protocols that we cover, that we're going to get into the weeds with in a little bit, they need liquidity. They just do. So not a ton of liquidity out there, and the liquidity is actually going to be sucked out even more of the markets in the months to come. So that's one thing. The other thing is that Bitcoin has never seen, ever seen an environment of quantitative tightening. You got to play into that somehow. Maybe it's already priced in. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But let's just say that it's not priced in, then that's a pretty scary summer for BTC. Also, Bitcoin has never really gone through a full-blown recession or, like I said earlier, a quantitative tightening period. So there's a lot of bearish stuff out there too that a lot of people I think need to consider more when they're saying that maybe we already found a bottom and we didn't. It's very hard to pick bottoms. I don't know what the bottom is going to be. But I just think that a lot of the new, and then if you look at the crypto news, there's the Three Arrows liquidations, right? There's still fallout from Luna. We're still trying to figure out how it affected all the different ecosystems. On top of that, Celsius is in big trouble. That's going to hurt the markets as well, probably for weeks to come. You got USDD. It's scary out there for USDD. Last night it wicked to 93 cents. I don't know where it is right now, but it wicked down to 93 cents last night. That's going to be trouble. It just is. And even MIM scared the heck out of us and affected Great Finance last night. Looks like MIM has its act together now, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Then on top of that, you have the index funds. They look awful, just beyond bearish, guys. They look really bad. SPX is headed down to that 0.5 fib retracement pretty much for sure. And that's maybe where there'll be some kind of dead cat bounce or maybe mountain lion bounce. Maybe it'll be a little bigger. Maybe it'll be a little tiny little kitten bounce, but we'll see what happens. And then on top of that, guys, the Fed has to do something with inflation. They just do. A lot of people think that if they take too much action, that's going to be a horrible thing because it's going to hurt the markets too much. It's going to cause for the recession that I think we're already in. I mean, the indicators that tell us if we're in a recession or not, they're lagging indicators. So I don't know. Well, time will tell. I don't want to say recession. We're in a recession when officially we're not, but just keep in mind that all that stuff comes from lagging indicators. And at the end of the day, what the Fed has to do first and foremost is figure out how to curb inflation. Because if not, it's just going to get much worse. In order for that to happen, we're going to have to feel pain. Markets are going to have to feel pain. The economy is going to have to feel pain. It's just the way it is. And I know that sucks and a lot of people have a problem with that. But at the end of the day, to keep creating liquidity for the markets inorganically for as long as we have, it can't go on forever. So at some point, the pain has to be felt. And I think Jay Powell and his team finally realized that that's going to be what you have to do. Now, there's a lot of things that are concerning that are starting to arise from the fact that we've been creating all this liquidity inorganically. For example, if you look at in the US, according to the charts, Americans have never had less in savings, and at the same time, they've never had more in debt. Just think about that. They've never had more in debt, and they've never had less in savings. This is not sustainable. This is not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. So sorry to be a Debbie Downer today, but I'm just letting you guys know to trade carefully, take profits when you can, and just know that the market could get a lot worse before it gets better. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's dive into the charts. All right, so let's start by talking about Orb. Orb is part of the Titan ecosystem. I got a lot of crap for what I said about Orb last week. You guys went after me in comments, Twitter, several Discords, DMs, everywhere. Everyone seemed to disagree with me. I can't really remember exactly what I had to say about Orb, so why don't we just look at last week's video. Guys, this is what's going to happen in the Discord and the Titan Discord and everything. You're going to see all this, oh, dads do something, oh my god, when marketing for Orb, and yeah, get wrecked. That's my response to all of you guys trying to do that with Orb. You're going to get wrecked. You just are. Listen to me. All right, guys, so don't say I didn't warn you, okay? Don't say I didn't warn you. Look, for those of you that were telling me things like, you don't understand, Orb is going to the moon. You don't get it. This Rip YouTuber said this, and this other YouTuber said that. No, guys, no. This is why you got wrecked. And by the way, Orb did go to the moon, right up here. You see that right there? That's the moon for that farm token. It will never get up there again. All right. And look, guys, I'm not giving farm tokens a hard time. Farm tokens have beautiful utility, and they're wonderful for ecosystems for a myriad of different ways. But what you guys were trying to do based on the information that some YouTubers gave you that was just bad way to implement math, got you wrecked. It got you wrecked. And moving forward, just know that share tokens are share tokens, farm tokens are farm tokens. You know, some of you are like, you don't understand. They have 12 new customers lined up. Yeah, well, look at PancakeSwap, thousands of tokens. Look at Cake's chart. Go take a look at Cake's chart right now while I'm ranting. Does that look like something that you want to invest in long time? Then go look at Spooky. Does that look like something you want to invest in long term? And look, there's some cool things like Swapsicle has something cool where they're going to try to add some deflationary mechanisms to their farm token. But still, that's a farm token, and no one's trying to treat it like a share token. So just be more cognizant of things like that. Do a little bit more due diligence. Look, guys, when a YouTuber like me or any other YouTuber or some drip YouTuber tells you that something's going to the moon, just take it with a grain of salt. Take it as something that's entertainment, and then go do your research. Go look at, you know, like in this case, if you went and looked at any of the top farm tokens, would you have still wanted to put your dollars into Orb at those prices in the 20s, in the high teens? Probably not, right? So I think the real conversation here needs to be had with Titan. What's going on with Titan? And look, guys, this is why we take profits in crypto. This is why we take profits in crypto, right? So I took profits. I never made big sells, just made a bunch of little sells all the way from like 12 all the way to 16. I wasn't lucky enough to sell at 17, but I sold a bunch at 16, 15, 14 in little chunks. Still own Titan. I still believe in the project and the team. Look, they have a lot of revenue streams. They really do. Let's see how things kind of start happening once the market stabilizes a little bit, when it does, and let's see what happens with Thai shares. But these guys have those revenue streams. Their DEX is making a ton of money. What I want to see is what the team's going to do with that money to help out the holders. Because from what I see here in the price action, they're clearly not doing enough. Maybe they can't do enough. I don't know. I honestly don't understand the inner workings of how these projects, you know, divvy up finances and with buybacks, especially when they have a DEX. I mean, it sounds very complicated, very interesting. But we will see what happens, how the team reacts and tries to help out the price action, because right now the price action is clearly pretty pitiful, and we need to see something better. But look, the market is tough. It's been tough as a whole, and it's been really tough for rebase protocols. I mean, the way to make money with rebase protocols has been pretty simple, right? You get in early, take profits. You know, the only real protocol that really has killed it for a long period of time, where you could have been late to the party and still made money, was Titano. That's the only one really. I mean, Alto did that for a little bit, but even Alto's getting destroyed now. Even though they had that cool little angel investor program that I'm starting to find out more about, that kind of helped them out get, you know, some pretty decent investors. Even Alto is really looking just like all the other rebase protocols are looking. So guys, I don't understand why people in DeFi don't like tomb forks more. I just don't. So I think that's a perfect segue to talk about a couple tomb forks. All right, let's talk about D-Share. Got DNN, LB, Tim Malcolm. You guys know I like these guys. Big fan of theirs. And yeah, it's been hard times indeed for D-Share. They do have some cool things coming up with their NFTs and some GameFi kind of stuff with this kind of slot machine. And look, guys, it's been really tough for this protocol. I've made a ton of money with D-Share with this protocol. I made most of my money just parking my D-Shares with USDC, I think it was, and getting like 2% a day forever. So I've taken more of a kind of risk off approach with this protocol of late just because of the market conditions. Still a holder, just don't hold a ton like I did, but might have to get back in there for more soon as things stabilize. Look, guys, this project is just, it has a great team, great team, and that has to count for something. I think the D-Share missions are going to be ending at the end of August. I could be wrong. And I saw a lot of talk on the Discord, people complaining about the single stake. Guys, single staking is good. When a peg token is single stake, that's a good thing, especially in these market conditions. Because what happens is that way you don't have to sell half of that peg token to, you know, armor an LP with it. So a single stake is good. I'm not going to name him because I didn't get his approval, but a very well-known dev that heads a couple projects. He had a project and he needed single staking, in my opinion. I asked him, hey, can you add single staking? He was like, yeah, sure, that's a great idea. And he added it. And so I think that most people understand that it's a good idea to have single staking with these protocols. But whatever, I'm going on a tangent about single staking. It's not what I want to talk about here. D-Share has been at a good value spot. It's been down here before, many times before, guys, and it worked itself back out. And let's see if it does it again. There you see it there, and it's done it other times, and every time it rode up to like 10x's, 5x's. I will call one thing out. You see this long wick right here? When D-Share does that, look, boom, boom, boom. It's usually followed by some downtrend, unfortunately. So I may have to wait if I want to add to my D-Share right now, because when those big long wicks happen, it's usually not a good thing for the next few candles. And this is 4-hour candles, so keep that in mind. But I'm a huge fan of this project. Again, I don't think that this project gets its fair share. And it's been tough for these protocols, these tomb forks in Phantom. If you look at Magic, they've had a lot of issues themselves. Miniverse, I don't consider myself an expert on Miniverse. I've actually never covered them, but I've traded in and out of it like crazy. They've also had some similar issues. But I feel that of those three, D-Share has been by far, Degen has been by far the most successful with staying on peg and with producing nice returns for its holders. So, you know, I am very happy with what I've seen with this protocol, and we will see what happens. But again, like I said, they have some cool stuff coming up pretty soon, and it's just been tough for tomb forks and Phantom. It is what it is. All right, so let's talk about a pre-sale slash Genesis pool that happened this week with US Dibs. US Dibs. I had never owned the D-Share. They're also called D-Share, just like Degen has D-Share. Hey, by the way, guys, can we stop that? Can we just come up with better names? Like, just be Dibs Share, or like for Degen Share, be DEG Share or something. Like, why do we have to have all these D shares and P shares and Z shares? It's like, come on, we can do better with the names, can't we? But then again, I haven't named this weekly recap for 3 weeks, so I guess I'm being kind of a hypocrite. But anyways, let's see here. Let's talk about Dibs. They had a pretty interesting little run. I covered it, and I thought I was gonna just crush on launch day. They're able to get to the first goal of 300K. At the last minute, they decided to make the hard cap 450K. They didn't get there. They came, I think, pretty close, but they didn't get there. But then I thought that US Dibs was just going to kill it from the jump, and it didn't, and it really surprised me. But then I did some digging, and Okay, so congrats to them for doing a really good job with the marketing. They got me to cover it. They got a bunch of YouTubers to cover it. That was good. Well done. Well played. What I didn't like that they did, and I did watch a couple of videos and noticed it, is that a few YouTubers were promising these huge, massive returns. And then when people saw that the huge, massive returns were going to happen, they sold. And if you look at my video, I made it crystal clear. I made it crystal clear that I stated that even though I've never owned D-Share or been a part of the Dibs holder family, Dibs money holder family, that they have a reputation for very low APYs, but that's why they've been able to stay on peg. So they're very safe. I don't know about you guys, safe sounds really freaking awesome to me during this market. If I can get it for sure returns, even if it's just small returns during this market, it's a lot better than parking in stables, where I've been parking my stables in all 4 of my wallets. I use 4 wallets, guys. I have 1 that's doxed and then 3 where I really get going. And I've been parking in stables for the most part. And I really like that, but I made it crystal clear in my video. I even said it, watch the video. I stated that they've had a reputation for being very conservative when it comes to APYs, APRs, rewards, whatever. And a lot of the YouTubers kind of got people hyped up expecting something that wasn't going to happen. So then they sold. So if you look at things, they have really, really kind of stabilized nicely. Really nice to see this. And look, guys, I'm going to show you guys what I have in there, because look, if I cover a project as a promo video on this channel, it's because I think it's a good project and I'm going to invest in myself. So I'm going to show you how much I have in there myself. But keep that in mind. Look, guys, I have a profitable business that I've had for 14 years. I also do work for a software company. I've done very well trading. My YouTube channel is my fourth revenue stream, 4th lowest revenue stream by far. So guys, I'm not here to try to make a bunch of money off promoting all these videos on my YouTube channel. So what you get from me is going to be quality and stuff that I think that I'm going to put my money in. So for example, check this out. I already forgot what I invested in here. Oh, that's right. I invested $4,000. So that's up to $4,055. Now, US Dibs, it says $99.95 earned, but I have some noted up. I decided to node some of it up. I noted up, I think it was about $120 worth. Whoops, wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, so I noted up $119 worth, and it's already given me $3 worth. I just did it today, right? Every day seems the same, I forget. But yeah, so really I'm up on this, what, about $300 then? But I just wanted to show what I'm doing with this Genesis. It kind of sucks because I don't want to like use my wallet while I'm in Costa Rica. I don't want to risk getting hacked or something. I don't know. So I'm just going to let it sit there. So I'm not going to be able to do much of my US Dibs earned for the next 7 days. So right before my flight leaves, I guess I should claim those and do something with them. Maybe farm them or something. I don't know. Add them to here. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. But yeah, just wanted to state that I think this is a really solid project. And look at this daily APR, 2.52%, guys. 2.52% this market. I'm there all day. And if this is a protocol that for months now has shown to be something that we can count on. And guys, I'm not getting paid to talk about them on this on these daily recaps. I'm not getting paid on any of the projects I talk about on these daily on these weekly recaps. So I'm just giving you like my honest 2 cents all through and through. I just see this as a very safe place to park money. Now that it's stabilized, I'm actually thinking that I should probably add to this at 2.52. Why not? So yeah, so feeling pretty good about this. Like I stated, it's stabilized. Let's look and see what their shared token has done. I haven't even looked. Here we go. Okay, so I think when I covered it, it was at $16 or $17. And I kind of warned you guys. I stated that, hey, yeah, because it was like a Tuesday night. Powell was going to do his thing on Wednesday. We didn't know what was going to happen with the market. So I kind of warned you guys and stated that, hey, I probably wouldn't touch the D shares right now. All right, so TA kind of works with Tune Forks. Sometimes it doesn't. This is a really nice double bottom right there. Boom, right there. Boom, right there. That's a really nice double bottom. Interesting. Interesting. Kind of liking this D share right now, but we'll see. I'm really trying to be risk off as much as possible though, in these conditions right now, especially because I'm going to be out of commission for a week, so I can't really do any trades. But this looks interesting to me. Nice little double bottom there. We'll see what happens. All right, so to end today's show, I want to talk about two things. One of them is going to surprise you. Did not think that I'd be talking about these guys for a bit. But first, let's just cover Pay real quick. Some interesting stuff happening with it. Pay. I had stated last week, if Pay's in the teens, I'm in there. And I actually did get in there for a little bit. Took a small profit, got out. I don't know. I just don't know with Pay right now in these market conditions. Again, my situation is unique because I'm about to go completely risk off from trades in a few hours. But I just don't know what's going to happen with Pay right now. As you can see here, it's really starting to grab some momentum after getting down to $14. And it's looking really nice in the really short term. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I could probably do a trend line right here. Let's see. I hate doing this on the fly. Well, even if I did one, it crossed it. So yeah, this could be pretty good for Pay short term. It's going to be very interesting to see where it's at when I come back, but we will see what happens. But usually Pay goes into the teens. It seems to always work itself back out and make some very nice returns. So we'll see what happens there. But what I wanted to bring up is our old friends Titano. Pretty interesting stuff here. So I was talking to the head of a project earlier in the week, and I was not aware of this, but they're going to have a launch pad. They're going to have a launch pad, and I think they're going to have other things too. Now I can't even remember. But they're going to have a launch pad, and they have what? They still have over 80,000 holders. I think at one point they were at 87,000. I don't know where they are today. That could be huge. That could be really big for Titano. Also, any project that launches on Titano, 87,000 holders. Oof. So yeah, so that was something that I'm going to keep an eye on. Actually, I need to put on my to-do list of checking that out. I haven't even gone to their website. Those of you that know the channel well, David from Titano was not a fan of our channel back in January. He didn't like it that I was covering Titano forks like Uranus, Poseidon, all those. But hey, we were ahead of our time, right? Now everyone's covering these forks. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with Titano. But up what, 10% last 24 hours. Oh my gosh, the volume's now down to 45K. I remember when that volume was millions a day. Wow. Did not realize their volume had dropped that much with so many holders. Interesting. I should probably go check out. Sorry, I didn't prepare for them for today's show. I should have probably checked out how many holders they have now. Let's see if it's still over 80,000. That's weird. Only 399 transactions with so many holders. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to do some due diligence, guys, because I noticed, like, for example, when I sold all my Poseidon, that I sold it all, but it still had me listed as owning one. So what did they have, like thousands of holders with just one? I don't know. I might be talking out of my you-know-what. But look, guys, these guys, everyone knows who they are. If they have a launch pad, that does present some unique, interesting spots for us as investors, especially projects launching on there. Just like I think projects launching on Titan will do very well. So anyway, I think that pretty much wraps it for today's show. Hope that you enjoyed today's content. Definitely hit that subscribe button. We're up to 1,500 subs now, which is amazing. Did not think that we'd ever get that high. So the fact that we got there within 6 months, 5 months, however long it's been, very cool stuff. Thank you so much for the support, guys. And I hope that you have a great week next week, and we'll talk soon. Take care.